I think when I was younger and I looked at Olympians, I looked at someone who is not like me. I didn't believe I would ever be an Olympian. I'm in that weird phase. So I've done 4 Olympic Games and Paris was my most recent. And I feel like I'm in this weird phase where you kind of, after a games, you get that big high. And then the what comes next happens. And I'm in a bit of a what comes next, but I've got 3 kids keeping me very busy. So it's, life is still busy.
Life is very busy. There was a rower, I won't mention his name, and he did say after, I think it was his 4th Olympic Games, if you ever see me in a boat, you have my permission to shoot me. And then he went on to win another gold, didn't he?
This is the thing, I've retired twice now, so I feel like I have to really mean it this next time that I retire. So after Rio I retired, then after Tokyo, so I have to take stock and really kind of understand my whys, my reasonings, and whether I wanted to go to LA or not.
But you haven't made that decision yet?
No, not formally, no. I kind of think it's unlikely.
Unlikely that you will go, or unlikely that you will retire?
I actually don't know. Don't know how to answer.
Just do it.
Yeah.
Just do it.
We'll see.
How old are the children, can I ask?
So I've got one that's 6 and I've got twins that are 5.
That are 5. I'm sure they would love a trip to LA to see Mum competing.
Yeah, do you know what
in
though?
Another Olympic Games.
Took them to Paris, and so when I raced in Tokyo, the whole comeback was all about them. Really, I wanted to be the first British mum to go and row at an Olympic Games. I wanted to break that boundary. I wanted to do it to show them, and then they couldn't come, and they were tiny babies at the time anyway. So when I came to Paris, the big vision was them at the finish line, and was them being there for that moment. The medal was around my neck, and it was incredible. And we got home, and everyone said to them, all the teachers, all the schools, they all knew it was happening. And they were like, "How was it?" And they were like, "Disneyland was amazing." And all they were talking about was like Disney and Mickey Mouse. And they were like, "But your mum, one day they might appreciate it." I think it's a really good question, because I would say I answer it very differently now at this stage in my career. I think when I was younger and I looked at Olympians, I looked at someone who is not like me. I didn't believe I would ever be an Olympian. They possessed things that I thought were superhuman and put them as almost outside of what I would ever be. And now, having met so many people and worked with so many different Olympians, I think drive, determination, ambition, all these key words, but I think actually humility with it all, understanding that there is always more to learn. I think I could have gone for 1 Olympics, 2 Olympics on drive, ambition alone, but always striving and never feeling like I was good enough, actually, always being humble enough to ask the question, I think is a thing that gives longevity to a career. Yeah, there's this really interesting dynamic within rowing, is that for most of the year, so through your really toughest training months, your teammates, but you're also competitors, you're trying to win your seat in a boat. And you start off year 1 of a 4-year cycle with a changing room full of people. Maybe 50 people start off in the changing room with you. And then on the last day training before your Olympic Games, there are 16 of you. And you see those people leave. And so in the winter months, you're picking each other up, you're driving each other on, you're being good teammates, but you also want that place in the boat. I've spent most of my career rowing in a boat with just one other person. And it's the smallest team we can get. And the thing we did was make the team as big as possible. So it was never just the 2 of us. Our coach became so integral. And like you're saying, Gunther, the more people you can bring into that and be a good teammate, the more people, when you are standing there on this podium, the more people you can look in the eyes and say, this is your victory too. And I think there was something so amazing in that. And that when we got to London, it did feel probably like this really selfish personal goal that felt all about me and all about Heather. And by the time we got to Rio 4 years later, we were 4 years and 55 races unbeaten, and there was not a single race that we got to without the help of our team. So in Rio, we had so many thank yous to make, and so many people to hug, and so many people to kiss, and so many people to say you owned that gold medal with us. And so for me, that Rio gold felt way bigger than Heather and myself. I think a really big thing was accepting each of us as individuals. We're really, really different people. And like, for example, if you walk into our training camp, you walk into our hotel room and there's almost this exact line along the floor where my stuff is literally an explosion. And Heather, she's in the army, and every single thing, like her pants are folded, she's super organized, and we're really different on the surface. I really wear my heart on my sleeve. I was desperate to win the Olympics, and my emotion showed it and my tone showed it. And Heather, some days you go, does she care? Is she bothered? Like, she's so stoic about everything. And so I think we really had to scratch the surface about what drives each other. And I think really importantly, fundamentally for us, our morals really aligned. The way we were, as what we believed in and how we wanted to go about things was really, really aligned. And I think that actually you need in a team so many different types of people to be represented. And you see it, around neurodiversity, around everything. The more we can represent everyone, the more brilliant that end result is going to be. It's definitely something which I think it's really hard to kind of replicate that feeling of striving for something, but ultimately, a goal. And I definitely find with speaking, as we were saying outside, I think I've come to love that feeling of being able to go, well, like I was saying earlier, I feel it the biggest privilege of my life that I've worked with the people I've worked with. I'm so lucky. Like, we've had nutritionists, psychologists, specialists, biomechanists working alongside me to make me the best I can be for 6 minutes once every 4 years. It's like this ridiculous feeling I've been so lucky to have. And the more I can share that, and if I walk out of a room and feel like there may have been one thing, there may have been a nugget that someone can take home, and it maybe not into their business, maybe not into their work, but maybe into their life or to their family life. I love that feeling because I appreciate how lucky I've been to have that for myself. I think something that really changed me as a person was in lockdown when I decided to come back to the sport. So I think that London was this moment that was too big for me to even comprehend. First games, Heather and I won the first gold for Team GB of the games. Felt like something that did not belong to me, felt huge. Rio, doing it again, big, exciting, all these moments you dream of as a sports person. And then I retired, and 4 years not rowing, 4 years not touching a rowing machine. And then when we went into lockdown, and I just had the twins as we went into lockdown, and I had Logan, who was a toddler. And coming back into the sport, I think fundamentally changed me and changed my beliefs, changed why I do this, changed the impact it can make. Because when I look back at that point that I had retired from, no matter how proud I was, no matter how many medals I had, I changed nothing. Maybe a few people took up rowing, and maybe a few women kind of believed they could go into different sports and things. I fundamentally changed nothing though. And I remember when we went into lockdown, even though I hadn't rowed for 4 years, no one had, since I had Logan, and that was the last time anybody asked me if I was going to come back to rowing or not. And it started to grate on me, and I started to get on the rowing machine just to keep fit. It was the only thing we had in our house, and really annoyingly at the time, the only way to get the twins to nap was to the sound of the rowing machine. So their naps would get longer and my training sessions would get a bit longer. And I remember looking at my little girl and thinking, what could I do to physically show you that no one can tell you something is impossible, and that no one can tell you that just because you're a girl, you can't. And I started to get annoyed about the fact that no women had made it back into the team, even though people had tried. So I started to think, under the cover of lockdown, 4 years out of the boat, this is going to be my mission. And I think that mission changed my perception of what people can do, because and the impact it can make. And so for me, fundamentally, I think physically showing my kids, and through my kids, other children and other mums, to break opinions and to do it the hard way. I think I'd always towed the line when I was in my 20s and 30s. The same people that were setting the training program were the same people that I was asking to select me, and I did what I was told, and I just did it the way I was told. And I got to this point as a mum where I was like, no, I'm going to change it. And the first thing I was told when I said, I picked up the phone, scared, shaking, young kids all around me, breastfeeding, while I was on the phone to the guy saying, I think I can come back. I think I'm in the shape of my life where I can come back for Olympic Games. And the first thing I was told was no thank you. Even if someone was faster than you, we'll choose, even if you're faster than somebody else, we'd choose them over you. And something was born in me, which was anger for people who've been told no, for people who've been told just because you've got kids, or just because you're a mother, just because you're a bit older. Those are not reasons to turn somebody down. If you're fast enough, if you're good enough, if you're smart enough, if you've got the qualifications, those are the reasons to take on that person. So I think those are the values that I really want to instill in my kids and to really represent myself, I guess.
That is a typical mindset of an Olympic champion right there.